The Ref Modifier. C# offers the Ref Modifier to enable passing by reference. In the given example, both number and value point to the identical memory locations. So let's create an integer that will be the type of variable called number. And that will be equal to, let's say, 10. We will create a function, so that will be static void increment value, and we pass into this function only one integer value. So we will call it ref. If you want to pass as a reference a value type, you have to put ref keyword and then int value, whatever we pass as a value. So let's say we want to console.writeLine value equals value plus 1. So we created the function. Now we need to call that function increment value. We're passing the number variable we already created, so that will be ref number. That's the syntax. So we're passing inside the function. When we specify parameters, we have to type the keyword ref, the value type, and then the value itself. In the arguments, when we call that function, all we have to do is type the keyword ref and then the variable itself. We're calling the function with our reference. And now all we have to do is to console.writeLine our number variable. So we're calling out our number variable. So as we remember from our previous examples, when we pass the variable into the function, it just copies that variable. This variable stays the same. So if there was no ref keyword, it will output the result of 10. But now here's what's going to happen. I'm going to run that .NET run command. And now as we see, because we put the ref keyword, we didn't just copy the variable number. We referenced the same memory location for that variable. And that's why when we changed it, that value 10, it's stored in that variable because it referenced the same place in the memory. Now, so we passed the number. It was incremented by 1. And then we console.writeLine our number variable. Okay, let's say we don't want to reference it. I'm going to delete that reference. So it's very clear what's going on. I'm deleting that ref keyword. And now, as we already discussed, when we put the number variable inside this function, it just copies the value. It will increment by 1, output it on the console, which is 11. But this variable stays the same. And now if I run the command .NET run, it will output us 11 and 10 because the original variable has not been changed. Okay, let's consider another example, and that will be regarding reference types. Let's create two variables. One variable, string, we will call John, and we will create a value of John. We'll create another variable, string, let's say Mary. That will be Mary. We create a function called swap. Static, void, swap. We create string A, string B. We will keep it very simple. And what we do is we create string temp variable. We do the simple swap. A equals B and B equals temp. We're just swapping them. Now, if I try to call the method, swap method, we're passing John, Mary. And what we should see is that instead of John, we should see Mary. And instead of Mary, we should see John, as you expect. But actually, it's not going to be the case. John, Mary, nothing changed. So basically, because it's a reference type, we cannot simply change the value of the John and Mary. But once we pass ref keyword and try to output our result, let's clear the console. It will work. We swap them together. John, now John is Mary, as we see, and Mary is John. And basically what ref is doing, it creates a strict bound to that place in the memory. So basically, we're bounding. It's bounded with the variable John. And then we're just swapping. We're saying A, which is John, now equals to B, which is Mary, and B equals temp, which is A in John. A equals John. All right, that's how we swapped them. Then we strictly bounded these two variables inside our memory heap. That's why we can simply change the variables, even though it's a reference type. It's not a value type. So ref works for value types and reference types.